Alright guys, I'm super excited to show you our setup for our video podcast. Dan is actually in there, I could tell, because he has the do not disturb recording in progress sign. I made that sign so we know like when we are both doing separate things or when we're doing things together. Like it's kind of pointless when we're doing something.
Your love, I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
This is the studio. Dan, we're interrupting. Okay, so
not recording yet, but
he wasn't gonna record yet, but this is just a general setup of like how we do things here. If you're looking at what's all this over here, this is our Anon setup. If you follow us from Anon, this is all our Disney products that we are selling. And if you are going to purchase anything from us, this is where we pull all the items from. And then over here is the actual like office space that we use to process and the box and stuff. We have more boxes in the backyard. But our actual studio for My Plus One and Absolute Center. There's the backyard in the garage. Yeah. So this is the Absolute Sitter setup because he likes the bricks. So this is, we got this on Amazon. It's really cool. We got these from Joanne Fabrics. So especially when he's doing the one person setup, it looks really like streamlines, have those backgrounds, but we primarily use the soundproofing, right?
well, you're in love with
I'm in love with the soundproofing, yeah. So these are from Aero Zoom. These are the squares. If you want to hold that one for them.
They'll come in squares like this, which can be customly cut along the lines in case you need to do something like what we have here.
Yeah.
Which is in strips.
So that's how we got these little pieces.
Smaller.
These little pieces, these rare little pieces. Because I did some work up here.
What's handy about it is if you needed to cut it out around a shape.
Yeah.
For example, if you had your mic back when I was like doing more music, you were able to mount your mic and get it cut out for if your wall mounted the mic or anything like that. So that's how you end up with these little Tetris pieces like this. That's very handy when it comes to that. And the soundproofing works pretty well. I mean, we've done a sound test, the snap and the clap, and you will see the echo difference. It's night and day since we've put that in.
Okay, and I put it up with the Loctite spray adhesive. This one is General Performance. This one is made specifically for paper, cardboard, foam, and fabric and foil.
You have different levels, but that one
works well for the foam.
Not only did it work well, but I think if it went any stronger, if you made any mistakes, it would tear up your foam while you were still trying to get it up.
Yeah,
so
I made that mistake. So the other items that we have here, number one item, baby monitor, which is not on. We're not doing a good parenting job right now, but the baby monitor is supposed to be on. But I'm out here because I was chilling and Dan was recording, so but we have to turn on the baby monitor soon before baby wakes up and we can't hear him, but he's an earshot of us. The mics we're using are the MXL's 990. Dan had one previously that he used to use when he was recording, but then I was like, I want us to be twinning, so I bought one for myself. We're using the Samsung, what? The Samsung mic stands. They're pretty heavy duty. This table is actually from IKEA. This is kind of like the just overview.
Workhorse legs.
Yeah, workhorse legs, about the 2 legs, and then you get the top separate. This is a Zoom H6. These are 2 mics here at the top, and then we use the XLR cords to the mics here, and then the Zoom H6 goes to the actual camera itself. This is a Canon Rebel T6i. You can see Dan in the view. Find over here, you can see a bit of me. I am on a iPhone X or 10 or whatever, and this is a Zoom.
I don't
video
You always make
video
that
mic.
So complicated.
Because they didn't have the 9. No, they didn't have the 9. But then, are you supposed to say iPhone X or iPhone 10? So that's the debate.
For the amount of money you spent on it, you could call it whatever you want to call it.
All right, I'm gonna see anything on the setup here. Oh, okay. So this is a mic splitter. We got this on Amazon. Amazon Basics is the brand. I'm gonna link all the stuff in the description, guys. We also use a Canon remote, especially when we're both recording. It's good to just be able to click on and off when you're recording. Well, oh, I don't have the card in there, but I have a 128 gigabyte SanDisk card, and then in here I have a 32 gigabyte SanDisk card. This is, you know, good for backup of your audio when you're doing like podcasting. For your setup, if you're just doing just like YouTube video, I don't think you really need to do that hardcore with the Zoom H6, but especially when you're doing like interviews and stuff like that, this is really good, a really good setup.
I would go for as maximum memory as you can afford to get. You know, that's no pressure, but always have memory, because the worst thing that can happen to you is to be in the middle of recording and have it shut off for lack of memory. So yeah, go for the max you can get, and always remember it's something that you can incrementally build. But I mean, we're also pretty new to this ourselves, so as much as we're trying to pass on the little bit of game that we've gotten so far, we'll definitely take some suggestions.
This is just the behind the scenes of us. Like, you know, this is gonna take some time before we perfected. You know, we couldn't afford the Shure SMB mic or whatever. So it works for us. It's been working for us pretty well. So we're gonna stick with that. And
pretty soon we're looking to change our lighting.
Yes.
We just learned
Think
taught
Media.
ourselves.
Think Media was talking about some the newer 660.
Yeah.
Like panel lighting.
Which is good for our setup, because our setup is very kind of compact.
Too, you know, we don't really want those
the big box lights that we're using right now.
Yeah, I'll show you those now. These are Fovitech Studio Pro. If you have a really big studio, I think this would work well for you. Why I love these lights is you can see Dan's lighting here. They have controls that if I wanted to do the full, this is off, so there's no lighting on this one, but if I'm going to do 2 lights or all 3, so the middle light is just the middle light. If I'm turn on this switch, it's the, you know, diagonal of this one and the diagonal of that one. So this one is really bright. You can see how bright it is now. It's like, and it gets hot. You don't really want, especially if you have a smaller studio, but you can see the differences between this one is just the middle bulb and this one is all the bulbs on right now. So that's really bright. So we usually, when we're recording, we just do the one middle and then the one middle on this one. There's also an overhead light that comes with this package, with this kit, but it was just like overkill for us. I think it was just too much.
It takes up a little bit too much space.
And it takes up too much space,
and
you know?
the other thing is we found that we were trying to do a counterbalanced weight, and we kind of damaged it, so it's now, it still does what it's supposed to do. It's still
high, but it's supposed to kind of like how a boomstick kind of like comes up here. It doesn't really do that anymore. So
do yourself a favor though, and teach yourself 3-point lighting. Remember,
yes, what is 3-point lighting?
Everything that you need to learn, you could find a resource for on YouTube. So I mean, 3-point lighting, and I'm just,
are we doing 3-point lighting?
Not technically.
Not technically.
But,
and because we're doing side by side when we're doing our podcast, and he's doing like by himself, and because we're kind of tight in here, we can't really do a big 3-point on in here.
The thing is, if you understand the premise of 3-point lighting, then you can kind of understand what you want, what you won't be necessary for you, and the type of lighting that you're gonna want. You're gonna know the type of channel, you gotta know the type of channel or material that you want to film, and also how you want to be separated from your background, or how much light you need on your subject. So once you learn that, you can kind of play around with how much lighting you want, the type of mood that you want to be setting.
Yeah, and you realize everybody's different. It works for us, you know, so far it's been working for us. As we do pump out more videos, we will probably notice like, wow, it could be a little better if we turn the light this way, or, you know. Because
the 3-point lighting also helps you not only with that, but for photography when we're doing our stills for Anon to do products or anything like that.
Yeah, our setup is different when we're doing our Anon lives. We move out the table that's here. Obviously, we don't need the mic setup and all that stuff because we're just using our phones. We're going live on Facebook or Instagram, and the posting on YouTube. So the sound quality might not be as good as how it is with the Zoom H6 setup and the MXLs, but we definitely do a really good job right now. You know, we are beginners. So catch us in 6 months and see how well we're doing.
We'll be doing an update to this, so look out for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything that changes along the time, if the table gets any upgrades or any fanciness of tablecloth changes.
Yeah, probably.
Because one of the things, it's not just aesthetics. One of the things that we notice filming is that is pretty loud when you're doing recording of your podcast. So we were looking to probably try to dumb down a little bit of the noise control here with something padded here. Now, we don't want to go with something as thick as maybe our soundproofing padding, not only because it is a table and you wanted to use it as a flat top, but you also don't, you know, you'd want something that you would be confident in resting a drink on or something like that. Now, let's be honest with each other. This is why I don't know what Lisa's going to do, but why I have this side table here is we do not want to have any of food or drink near any of our equipment. That no food or drink comes in the studio, but we know that that's not realistic, especially with little man's right here.
He wanted to come and join, guys.
Who just wanted to make a cameo right now.
Make a cameo. So, we do have an extra chair over here, you know, because we are trying to set up, and with the potential of if we have more people coming in, we have helpers. Of
course, COVID-19 has made that compromise. But the good thing is that when you hear us talk reference to our garage area, our studio is a garage conversion into an office. So we still have a small garage area on the other side of the door. We do have that option of coming in that way, which you're going to see in another video. Some other material that we'll be doing and why we use that entrance as opposed to our front doors most of the time. But yeah, this is just our setup from here, a little bit of behind the scenes. But right now, this is what works for us, and it's doing an awesome job. We're going to continue with the momentum that we have right now. But Dan wants to, I think the first thing before the lighting upgrade, Dan wants to upgrade the surge protector. Yeah, just looking for streamlined organization, and I would love some suggestions actually on any ones that would just work a little bit more efficiently. One thing I will say about lighting, for example, right now we do have an AC unit in here, but it's super loud, so we don't use it while actually recording. So that just leaves us with the fan light here. Try to go LED when you can, because it gets super hot, especially in rooms like what we have here.
The soft boxes are huge LEDs. Let me see if I can open that.
And play with this, because that will change.
So there's another diffuser in here. I don't know how well you can see that.
Well, you can kind of see behind it regardless.
Yeah, so if you wanna.
And you will see that what it does is just change how many bulbs are turned on when you.
They're huge bulbs, too.
But they're cool. They're for the amount of light that they put out. It's not the same
as your regular condenser bulb. If you're gonna have all the lights on, you'll be sweating by the end of it.
All right, so. Yeah, so that's a little bit of our setup. You can build as you go. Do a little bit of research, Don't get stuck going down the rabbit hole where you're doing perpetual research and always thinking you need better to get started. Get enough to get started. Just
get started, which is what
we did not take our own advice with that.
Exactly.
So get started. Whether you just are starting with your phone, your audio and your visuals, of course, you're trying to put out the best quality because you're, you know, whether you're for YouTube or wherever it is, you got to get, you know, something that the type of material that people are going to be interested in. But the most important part is your intellectual property. So make sure that, you know, you don't hinder your ideas with being too focused on, I need this type of foam, or I need to do this and that. I mean, start smart. You know, if you can figure out something that does the job for now, start with that and upgrade later on. Same with lighting, same with audio equipment and your visuals. So get started. Don't do what we did. Get started. If you have any suggestions, because we're not gonna act like we got this all figured out.
See, he's even saying it.
Yeah, start with what you have and build from there. It's a great start. We are also, as we're trying to kind of pass on a little bit of knowledge we're gaining, we're also big on taking some suggestions. So absolutely get in contact with us through social media if you have any suggestions, any comments.
Comment below.
Please, any debates on microphones or any other little tips and tricks that you've learned that we can pass on to other viewers, please like, share, and subscribe, and look out for more content. When you subscribe,
please bing the little notification bell so you know when we're posting.
Mad early in the morning. Little man is indicating to everybody to take 5.
Bye.
So we're out.
Bye guys, thanks for joining.
There's something special about your love.